if we gonna be real about it, bro, if we gonna be tangible, you want to lose weight, you gonna have to work out. You gonna have to change your diet. You want to get money, you gonna have to save money. You gonna have to make more money. You gonna have to invest some money. You want to change your situation, you gonna have to change your mindset and your actions.
Free will sound like a whole lot of sacrifices.
A whole lot of sacrifices. A whole lot of decisions that you have to take responsibility for.
Right.
And I mean, that's what we talking about, bro. You have to decide, bro. You have to decide. And ultimately, even if you're not deciding, guess what you're doing, bro? Still decide. What's going on, people? This is Nigel.
This is Brad.
And this is the Uplift Fitness Club podcast.
Faith versus free will.
Age-old debate.
Faith versus free will. And do you feel like people confuse faith with faith?
I think people have faith in faith.
Think so?
Yeah, I think it's blind faith a lot of times, though.
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
It's like polar opposite, right? When you have faith, you believe, right? You hold on, you believe in that a change can come. I feel like. And faith, it's like you believe in, hey, that's what it is.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you just chalking it up to the game. Like, I think, yeah, you said, what was your question again? I'm trying to find the notes.
I said, do you feel like people confuse faith with faith?
Faith with faith.
Right.
Nah, yeah, I definitely think people have faith in faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Faith in faith. I don't think they confuse the two.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty. I think
faith that nothing will change. This is.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
And people can kind of start to worship the idea of fate. Mm-hmm. You know, you can kind of get lost in that. You know, if you convince yourself that something is predestined to happen, mm-hmm. then you get a lot of emotions attached to that destiny, and mm-hmm. then you know everything is predicated on this thing happening, and you lost in your fate. You know what I'm mm-hmm. saying? You're kind of worshiping your fate as if whatever that is, whatever you believe your fate to be, is like a deity, or it's like this divine idea.
Right.
But let's get into it, man.
So they said fate, the development of events beyond a person's control, regarded right. as determined by a super
run it back.
regarded
nah, man, start from the beginning, man.
Fate, the development of events beyond a person's control. That's hard right there.
Keep going, man.
Regarded as determined by a supernatural power.
Okay.
That's what they say fate is, man.
Say the first part again.
The development of events beyond a person's control.
The development of events beyond a person's control.
Right. So they're saying that, you know, what's to be is what's to be.
Right.
You got no
control.
You
don't have no control over that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Well, we got a lot to get into, a lot to unpack on this episode. But it's the development of, say it one more time.
The development of events beyond a person's control.
So they're not saying, see, the problem happens, and I've seen this in so many examples, when people have debates or they pontificate, they have their little discussions, they always present the two extremes. Like, it's the development of events that you have no control over. Mm-hmm. Therefore, fate exists. They're just saying that fate is this. This is not fate. Like, if this is life, you know what I'm saying? Life is not all predicated on fate. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things that were fate.
Right.
So, off the top, I might have just came to the other side of the fence, man.
Yeah. Because
realistically, there's a lot of things that we do not control.
Right.
And those things, depending on how you look at it, is fate. Mm. So, how you want to start? How we going?
Man, do you believe everything is predetermined?
You asking me this?
That everything can be predicted? And the whole... Hold on.
Hey, man,
I'm trying to read this shit like a book.
Hey, stop cussing, man.
Do you believe everything is predetermined?
Uh-huh.
That everything can be predicted? And that your whole path of life is already paved? and all you got to do is put your shoes on in the morning.
Nah. Nah, it don't work like that. It does not work like that. You know, it's a good example of it's that whole saying hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's some people that it seemed like they were predestined to go to the league. Right. You know what I'm saying? To be great in whatever field they're in. Sorry, that's the only example I have to pull from is going to the league. But that's the options they give us young black boys, right? So it's like, I mean, it's so many superstars that was, you know, it was in their cards. It seemed like for them to be great, and they didn't have the habits that cemented their fate. We talked about shorty that's about to be a doctor, man. The one who got the thick notebook full of notes for the class I ain't never studied for. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it might have been her fate that she was gonna be a doctor, but she for sure she took the steps in order to cement that fate. Right. So I think there's a plethora of options for you, and those might have been predetermined, or they might just be the options that are available to people in the world. Because I'm a big proponent of manifestation, as are you. Right. And it's up to you to choose the option and then align your actions with that choice. Right. So I think you have a choice in your fate. And then the only thing that really restricts it is the time that you're allotted, the help that you're allotted, the circumstances that are given to you. So what you got, man? I know you had a lot of
so everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. Right. What does that mean?
Everything happens for a reason.
Is that a statement in regards to fate? Whether that reason is good or bad.
Yeah, I think that's kind of attached to like the idea of religion and God, and like, you know, God has a plan. So if it happened, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Hey, there's some terrible things that be happening.
That's true.
I feel like you know, when people use that saying it's just for, you know, hey, there's something better on the other side, right? Something bigger and better on the other side. Yeah. But sometimes, man, there's some things that happens, man, that you just can't put the thumb on.
We getting into something
terrible.
Listen, man, that's something that I ain't know we was gonna go here.
Yeah.
Man, when I was a kid, man, you know, I'll tell you, the first time I really had to deal with loss and death, it was with one of the best people that I knew, bro. It was like, so this is my cousin Christian. I was 15, we were both 15, same age. Yeah. I was 15 when he got diagnosed with cancer. And that was my boy, bro. Like, coming up from, I'd say, from the time we was like 7, that's when that was really, like, we was locked in. Right. It was 4th of July. We was just, hey, bro, man, we was smashing root beer cans on the ground and drinking the fizz. I don't know why we was doing this, but from there, we just been boys. Yeah. Right? We get 15, he get diagnosed with cancer. I'm talking about we was going to basketball camp together every summer. Yeah. That's my dog. He get cancer. Bro, he the most positive person I knew, bro. I'm just like, nah, like, not him. Like, he not supposed to go through this. And then, you know, long story short, bro, like, he ended up passing. And he maintained that positivity. Like, I remember the day the week I found out, we go up to Chambersburg. That's where we used to stay. And it was like, everybody crying, boo-hoo. I'm talking about, I'm in the car. I'm in the car, bro. I'm in the base. I done cried for like 3 days straight. Yeah. I go up there, I'm about to console him. He consoling us. He in the room like, nah, just a speed bump, man. I'm like, dang. And then he just like, he soldiered through everything, and ultimately, you know, he not with us anymore. Right. But that, you want to talk about fate, and God got a plan, and I'm like, God, what's your plan on this one? Like, I really struggle with that. And to this day, I can't say like I've gotten past that. Like, bro, I still struggle with the idea that happened for a reason. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so when you get to talking to me about everything happened for a reason, you better have something else to say, because my mind automatically is going right back there.
And that's why, you know, when I say that statement to myself, I always just say it for good and bad, because I don't want to. That statement is really, the connotation with that is just good. Like it's something better.
Yeah, for sure.
Than what just happened or what you lost or whatever the event was.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's get into. I had something for fate, right? I came up with a line. And I said that those who believe in fate have subconsciously forfeited responsibility of their decisions.
Man, say that
or actions.
Say that again and enunciate, because the people got to hear that one.
I said those who believe in fate, right? It's solely fate, have subconsciously forfeited responsibility of their decisions and actions.
Man, what do you mean by that, man?
And I mean by that is, what I say? The why try attitude.
The why try attitude.
The why try attitude. I had the why try attitude.
Okay.
Where, hey, let's take it back to Laurel High School days. Fate, Laurel sucks. We will always suck. That's fate.
They don't know Laurel High School.
Hey, man, the fate for that school, that team.
We talking about Laurel High School football team.
Right.
So Laurel High School football, man, every year we was like 2-8, 1-9, 0-10.
And that was the fate, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody was making nobody was being active in making a change.
Right. And the people who were, they weren't enough to take it over.
Wasn't
so
enough.
all you seeing from the outside looking in is, this is what we used to say about Laurel football. Mm-hmm. Man, y'all some shit.
Straight up.
Y'all some shit.
Straight up. It's always going to be.
Everybody on the team, man, we some shit.
Expected to be, one bad play.
Oh my
it's
God,
fake.
Bro.
We ain't never gonna get right,
bruh. Like the first pick of the game, first turnover of the game, first fumble. I knew it, bro. I knew it.
Not just because that just happens in football.
Exactly.
No, because we are destined to be sorry forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So it ain't supposed to be good.
And everybody is reinforcing this idea throughout the halls. You wear your
Everybody,
football jersey. It's to the point you can wear your jersey on game days. Don't nobody want to wear that jersey, man.
Hey, 90% of us had that why try attitude.
Yeah. And they forfeited what?
They forfeited their responsibility.
What did it say on there? It say that?
Forfeited responsibility of their decisions.
Their decisions.
Yeah. And
so,
actions.
Okay. So let's use that example.
They're not consciously making decisions that can be impactful to make a change.
Right. So when you were playing football, let's take that example.
Right.
What could you have done to change the circumstance? Let's say the team was gonna be bad. Mm-hmm. It's very unlikely that one good player, a great player. If y'all had Derrick Henry, y'all probably would have won the state championship. Yeah. But it's even if it's unlikely, it don't matter. Now, were you executing at your highest level to be the best player that you could be in that situation?
Absolutely not.
Why? Because you believe.
I believe in the fate that Laurel was terrible.
Right.
And that the coaches was terrible.
Right.
And the players, terrible.
So we gonna be terrible regardless if I put in work or not. If I don't. I'm in essence, what is this word?
Why try attitude? What's
why
that?
Forfeiting my responsibility
of your
for decisions and actions. Exactly. So I think, but in that instance, one may argue that was your fate because that's always what you were going to do. I think the idea of fate is using, it's like confirmation bias. Mm-hmm. Like it's hindsight 2020. Your backseat driver, Monday morning quarterback, whatever example you want to use, you're looking at history as evidence of or confirmation of the idea of fate. Well, that's the only documented thing that you can see. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there is no such thing as a time machine. So for you to say that was your fate because that's what happened, you're just talking in circles at that point. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you, for the future, everybody who talk about fate talk about what happened in the past. For the future, what do you have control over that you can control and directly impact your future or those around you?
I know you put it like that too, man. It almost seems like fate is like it's close to culture. Like you look at fate, you look at your fate in regards to the culture that you're coming from, or like a team, or like let's say, about to use the reference back for sports, right?
Okay.
You in the Steelers uniform,
right?
The fate of this team should be winning. You know what the culture is here?
Yeah, we ain't had a lot of losing seasons.
I don't even care who at quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't care who hurt. This is not a losing team. The fate of this team is winning.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, the culture of this team, right? The culture that you're coming from is winning.
It's winning. So everybody believes that they will win, and most of the time they do win.
It changes your fate. But if you get drafted by the Browns, the first thing you're thinking of, if you got drafted by, we destined to lose.
Yeah, but
I ain't never gonna win nothing.
All it takes though is that group of people who make the decision that they're gonna change their fate.
Right. You had a lot of people this year on the Browns team who, they did not have that why try attitude.
Absolutely.
They was on this team like, look, I don't know where y'all from, but I come from winning. Right. My culture is winning.
I mean, this is what it is, bro. It is culture. It's environment. It's upbringing. It's experiences.
Right.
Your fate is shaped by that. I'm gonna read another quote. It's not a long one. If you're waiting for the universe to bring you to a better place, you'll be waiting an eternity. Fate brings you opportunities, and free will determines whether or not you take them. Fate is the destiny that is pre-planned for you, but it's up to you to do something with it. Fate is the destiny that is pre-planned for you, but it's up to you to do something with it. I look at life like a tree, right? Every year, a tree has new sprouts, new leaves, new branches that branch off into new branches, right? But it all started from a seed. So, if you look at your destiny as one of those paths to the end of the tree, it's like you could have took 50, 100, 500 different routes depending on how big the tree is. And every day you have the opportunity to branch off in a new direction. You can directly impact your fate. But it's up to you to make the decision, because you could stay stagnant and stay in the same place forever. But yeah, bro, it's like opportunity. Fate brings opportunities, and free will determines whether or not you take them. So when we talk about environment and opportunities and understanding, like, you're given a set of options, and as you progress in your experience, as you make choices, your options change and oftentimes narrow. But really they don't, because depending on where you are, you have the ability to expand your options at any time.
Right.
And you're familiar with this because you did this for yourself.
Right.
Like, what was your options 5 years ago as opposed to right now?
It's pretty much the same, man.
I mean, I won't say options, because you always had the options.
Right.
But like, what was your outlook? Let's say 10 years ago, we just graduated, or we about to graduate, and your outlook is what? What did you see yourself doing walking across the stage? What's happening?
What did I see? So as I walk across the stage, once that's all said and done, what did I see? What was next for Brad?
Right.
I had no idea.
I had no idea either, man. But you know what I used to say? I used to say, I'm gonna own my own gym.
Yeah.
I also apparently thought I was gonna be an architect or an engineer.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't do that.
Man, the only thing I had on my mind was that I need to find a way to give me some money, and I need to give me a car. That's it, man.
Moment to moment.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for that. At that moment, my fate was a car and some money. I'm gonna follow whatever path that was.
Let's talk about the spectrum, bro. Because what I think gets lost in this conversation is that fate and free will, although they may be opposites or close to opposites, it's a continuum.
Right.
It's not one thing.
Right.
So all the way from fate to free will, there's a spectrum.
Right.
So what does that mean, man? Like,
so your free will determines your fate.
Does it? I guess it does, because you can make a decision that change. Like if I go out and kill somebody, right? If I kill somebody, I'm gonna stop saying that.
Yeah.
But if that happens, right? My destiny, my fate has now changed. My future is gonna look a lot different than it does at this very moment. Right? Because of my free will to. I can do that if I wanted to. Right? With my bare hand, I'm strong. I'm playing. But that's something that I could do that could ultimately shape my fate. on the flip side, if I determine, Nigel, you're gonna go get this degree, well, now your career path has changed. So your free will does shape your fate, but I would argue your fate shapes your free will.
Right.
Because I mean, there's certain things that happen that you didn't control, like you being here.
So it's going back now to your culture and your operating system, what you were taught, different experiences that you go through.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about
shape. You can even say those experiences, your culture shapes your free will.
That's true, but we also talked about that transitional period,
right?
From the time where you're coming up and a lot of your decisions are made for you.
Right.
You didn't have no hand in. I mean, from 1 to 4, you don't even know what's going on.
You're
just showing up.
You just a sponge. You just taking in, taking in. You ain't putting nothing out.
And unfortunately, especially for people who have trauma experience in those developmental years,
right?
You know, a lot of your personality and the things that you express as an adult is dictated by those experiences as a child.
Because you mirror a lot of those things.
For sure.
You hear a child like, man, it sound just like me. Sound like somebody.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, but that could be fortunate or unfortunate. But there's a certain point where there's a kind of like a catalyst or a turning point where it switches from everything was just kind of predetermined for you to now you have to synthesize based off of all of those experiences and determine what your future is going to look like. And if you stay stagnant and determine that I'm gonna stay out the game, I'm gonna just, you know, if it's meant to be, it's gonna be. You know, if I'm gonna have a good job, I'm gonna just have a good job. I'm gonna just show up, do the bare minimum, or I'm gonna show up and just skate along, and whatever happens, you're gonna limit your opportunities. But if you take initiative and plan and execute and draft out, like, how do I want my life to look? You know, like, what goals do I want to set for myself? What type of family do I want to have? Where do I want to live? What type of children do I want to raise? What do I want to input into their psyche, and how do I want to shape their fate and the type of person they're going to be? Then you can directly play a hand in molding and shaping your future.
Absolutely. And no case style. None of that. Come here. He's seen that fate.
He's seen it.
Came here once. Man, this operating system is crazy.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna have to change some of this.
Yeah, bro. Like, you're not only forfeiting your responsibility, right? You're forfeiting like your ability to dream.
Right.
Like you're really, by relying on fate and external factors to dictate what happens in your life,
future, right.
You're limiting your scope. You know what I'm saying? Like when I close my eyes and visualize, I can see myself doing great things. But if I stop dreaming and I stop recruiting these things into my life, then it's like, what are we shooting for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know you had a lot more.
Free will. So free will.
We didn't even get the free will yet?
We ain't give them the definition of free will.
I don't give them the definition of
free will. The power of acting without constraint of necessity.
Man, you gonna have to run that back. Nah, from the top, man.
I'm trying to
necessity.
I ain't go to school, man. Free will. The power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate.
Necessity or fate. Without necessity or oh my God, that definition cold. Cause it goes back to that idea. It's one of them videos with E.T. and he's like, what do you do when no one call you and no one waking you up and no one reminding you? What do you do when no one is relying on you, no one is checking for you?
Man.
It's integrity. You know what I'm saying? It's integrity.
That's good.
Without necessity. At any moment. Like, when I wake up, bro, I ain't gonna lie. This past week, bro, I had a terrible week.
Yeah.
By my standards. And good things happen, but I had a terrible week because I have expectations and criteria for myself as what is success and what's not.
Right.
Now, it's because I woke up and I wasn't willing to do the things that I didn't have to do. If you go to work at 9 o'clock, we always talk about work. If you go to work at 9 o'clock, you have the ability to get up at 5 o'clock.
Right.
If you go to bed, you can do it. You can get up at 5 o'clock. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
So this week, it was a failure in that regard because I chose, and my alarm went off.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the phone. Nah, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I sleep till 7:15. I have 15 minutes. Now I'm on the gun.
Right.
Okay, but without necessity, I didn't. Now I could have got up at 5, worked out, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to study. I could have studied. I could have crossed off hella stuff on my to-do list.
Right.
But because I'm just like, I'm gonna kick it, I'm gonna chill. My fate is gonna be shaped regardless of whether I act or stay in this holding pattern.
Right.
So
you said either you're gonna do it or somebody else gonna do it.
Somebody else gonna do it, or either you're gonna determine your future and your
right.
fate, or somebody gonna determine for you.
Right.
Something is gonna determine for you.
I like this one quote, man, by Stephen Hawking. He said, even people who claim that everything is predestined and that we cannot do anything to change it, even looks before they cross the street.
That's hard, bro. That's hard, bro.
So those who are living right now are saying, this will never happen. This will never change.
Or no, not even this will never happen. If it's meant for me, it's meant for me.
Right.
If it's for me, it's for me.
Yeah. No action behind it.
Right. It's like, if it was gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Bet you live across the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna talk about if it happened to happen.
Right.
And cross that street.
Because realistically, bro, life is changed.
Right.
There are predetermined factors, and then there is just a roll of the dice, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you left everything to chance, bro. If for that example specifically,
yeah,
you gonna take an L pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
let's end it on faith. Let's end it on faith. So with faith, right? Regardless of what you believe in,
okay,
right? There's faith, right? As you said, your free will shapes your faith.
Right.
Your faith shapes your free will. Right? They intertwine with each other, right?
Yeah, it's heavily related.
So regardless of what you believe in, at the end of the day, if you're alive and you're healthy,
right,
that your choices will shape your today, right? And it will shape your tomorrow, right? And it will shape your month, it will shape your years, right?
Right.
Which ultimately is your fate.
And it'll shape the people who come up after you too.
Right. So that's
Look,
big.
It's some people that believe that they themselves and their family are destined to be broke, financially destitute.
Right.
Because they've been that way.
That's what it is.
They've been that way since they was born, since their granddaddy was born, their grandmama was born. Everybody been broke. You know what?
Never tapped into their free will to make those choices.
It's just in the cars. I'm gonna just be broke. And because of that, they're in the holding pattern. They're stuck in inaction. They're not willing to actively change their circumstance. Bro, we done listed a couple ways on the podcast.
You're saying that there's people living on there that do not exercise their free will.
Absolutely. How many people have we talked to that say they want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds and do nothing about it? Honestly, bro, there is not much that happens in life that does not happen. That happens without something actuating it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we're talking about, the example of cancer, where it seems spontaneous, even cancer, I'm not saying that there's fault related, but it's like there are chemical reactions that are happening within your body that you can't see that are leading to you having cancer. Right. It could be a genetic predisposition. It could be a diet-related issue. You could have just neuropathy, whatever the hell is going on inside of your body that's causing the cancer. But even that has a reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? It has a catalyst that started it. Now, you could argue that those actuating forces were dictated by one's fate. But at the end of the day, if we gonna be real about it, bro, if we gonna be tangible, you wanna lose weight, you gonna have to work out. You gonna have to change your diet. You wanna get money, you gonna have to save money, you gonna have to make more money, you gonna have to invest some money. You wanna change your situation, you gonna have to change your mindset and your actions.
Free will sound like a whole lot of sacrifices.
A whole lot of sacrifices, a whole lot of decisions that you have to take responsibility for.
Right.
And I mean, that's what we talked about, bro. You have to decide, bro. You have to
decide.
And ultimately, even if you're not deciding, guess what you're doing, bro?
Still decide.
You still decide.
Ain't no way around it.
There's no way around it, bro.
Hey, shout out to Future, man. You got this one Future first started. He got a song that's called "Ain't No Way Around It."
Ain't no way around it.
Yeah, for the kids though, y'all want
They don't know.
Y'all don't want to listen.
And the older people they don't know that either, bro. It's only our generation.
It's OG.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
Ain't no way around it.
Free will. Whether you believe in free will or fate, you still faced with a decision every day to be the person. You can be the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can be better.
Yeah. You
can be worse.
Mm.
Which one is it?
Man, sound like there's 3 types of people in life. Hey, got those who wait, got those who make it happen,
right?
Those who watch it happen,
right?
And those who don't even know what's going on.
That's what it is, bro. We could cap it. I feel like we had so much more though, bro.
Yeah, I feel like we put a lot of energy.
Man, what we had, man?
We gotta start it. We gotta start the clip beforehand.
Yeah,
Next time, I ain't even talking.
I ain't even
talking. I put all the energy.
That's what we gotta have a production team, man.
Yeah.
You get a production team. That's their job. They turn on. As soon as we walk in the door, they turn the mics on.
Boom. And you sit down. You get to it.
That might be in our fate, bro. Or we might just have to make that happen.
Yeah. We gotta make that happen. Gotta change that.
Hell yeah. Hey, look, man, hold on. Let's go through this list one more time. I feel like we might have missed something. Oh, man, you know what?
What's that?
You know about Manifest Destiny?
No.
Okay, the idea of Manifest Destiny, it was taught to, we gotta touch on this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is a middle school concept. And you were still going to school at this time.
Middle
you
school,
should have been learning this.
Yeah.
So, I remember my middle school history teacher. What?
You still going to school at this time. You ain't drop out.
It's real though. You ain't going. Hey, bro, if they can only see you now, bro.
Kara seen my report card.
Where you had one? Yeah.
She was like, bro.
Oh, man. Oh, so middle school, right?
Yeah.
Middle school history class. I never forget, but it does fall out of my memory sometimes. Like, it's not present in my mind. But my boy Nadir was talking to me. He was like, bro, you remember when they was teaching us Manifest Destiny? I was like, yeah. It's this idea that America in the 1600s was destined to stretch from sea to shining sea. Mm-hmm. So we started, 13 colonies. Is within the cards. We're gonna go all the way to California.
Yeah.
Now this is a history class we're learning this in. This is not something that is like a factual historical event. This is an idea that was either placed into the minds of American people during that time, or, which is probably more likely, was placed into the history books that was taught to the middle school teachers across America in order to reinforce ideas that we're supposed to be here. When in all actuality, we already know the history of the situation. So Manifest Destiny obviously coincided with, the mass murder and slaughter of thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of indigenous people in America. Mm-hmm. But this was taught to us in middle school, man.
Right.
So we had to write papers on this. More or less, America defined its fate as we're going to do this thing. Mm-hmm. And regardless of the obvious negative connotation and historical significance of the idea, and regardless of whether this is like post accomplishment, this is what we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Treat your life as if your destiny has to be manifested. If you do not have an idea of where you want to be, you don't believe in your will to make something happen, mm-hmm. then you're never gonna accomplish anything of significance.
Yeah.
Like you got a dream, and your dream gotta have stretch. Your goals gotta be associated with that dream. Your dream has to create positive impact in the lives of others. Mm-hmm. So as opposed to Manifest Destiny, where we're talking about acquiring land from people, taking it, and they don't have nothing to this day, or very little to this day, let's flip it and make it positive and say, who can we impact? How do we want to create that impact? and what does that look like for us in our future? How does this positively change my environment? Who benefits from this? Why? What's the benefit? How can we make it measurable? How can we repeat the process? And how can we get all of us to rise at the same time? So manifest your destiny, man. I feel like we kind of it's cyclical. We came back to this point where like we see the overlap of the two ideas, fate and free will.
Right.
But it's no doubt that one begets the next, regardless of which way you want to flip it. So use this, bro, sis. Use this as a wake-up call to where if you don't wake up with a purpose, and I'm talking to myself too, bro.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah.
If you don't wake up with a purpose, if you don't have in your mind's eye a vision of the person you want to be, the impact you want to create, and the heights that you want to ascend to, then you really holding back your faith.
Listen. Your mama might come for privilege.
Your mama might.
Listen, your daddy might come for privilege.
Your daddy might.
Listen, your daddy might give you everything your little
heart desires. But you will not outwork me. Woo. That hurt. Hey. Hey, that's what it is, man. That's the mindset. That's the difference between the average people and the outstanding, the great people, the people who are remembered by many.
Man, I love hungry people, man. I love, man, y'all gonna get it. Uplift community, man.
That's crazy, man. I'm watching Floyd, bro. It don't matter how you feel about Floyd.
Yeah.
It don't matter how you feel about Floyd.
Man, Floyd jogging used to get me wanting to. I'm talking about, I'm just hearing him just jogging, just breathing.
Yeah.
He's just jogging. I'm the best.
Hey, he on the bag. Can't nobody beat me. Can't nobody beat me. Can't no fighter beat me. I'm the best. I only lost to a fighter with 7 losses. Hey, bro. It don't matter what you feel about a person like that. You know what I'm saying? He done stuff I don't agree with. But he been talking about I'm gonna be the greatest since the 90s.
Yeah.
He done passed this milestone, beat De La Hoya. He beat De La Hoya, man, became the most hated. First he had the prettiest face, then he had the most money, then he was the most hated, then he was the best ever. And every step along the way, he never lost. Why did he never lose? Is it because it was fate? Is it because it was fate that God touched him and said, you're gonna be the greatest, you ain't never gonna lose? If that was the case,
it was decisions.
If that was the case, he would have never had to train. He would have never had to wake up when he didn't want to wake up.
Yeah, he's doing some stuff that, now I look at it, when I was telling people, when E.T. had inspired me and I started waking up at 3:30 in the morning. Bro,
that's incredible. A man in a state that don't even know where he at could inspire you to wake up at 3:30.
I started waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm talking about my body was waking up at 3:30 in the morning. Like, I'm like, I gotta get up because this needs to change. I don't know what fate was getting ready to happen right now, but this is not it.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna be my life. I'm looking around, going to work. The story, PepsiCo.
Already.
I'm looking around like this ain't it.
I'm
listening to E.T. I'm listening to E.T. Water in my eyes.
Hey, No Sean Marino?
Yeah.
When he was crying on the side?
Yeah. That's what it was like. People walk past me, Brad, you good, nigga? Can't even talk. Listen to E.T. Keep walking, man.
Hey, I'm glad you went this way because you could have went crazy,
man. I'm in there like this. I get home and I bottled all that up. Like everything was cool. Mama, grandmama, everybody thought everything was good. Like job was good, working. Ain't know I was going through it.
Yeah.
My mind and my soul, like I could feel it.
Yeah.
In here, like this not gonna be it.
Right.
This will not be it. I would die. What did he say? What Will Smith said, I would die before I get off this treadmill before
I let you run on the treadmill.
That's how I was feeling.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that level of intensity
right
for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you can turn 6 months, 2 years, 3 years of dedication, of grinding. I mean, we talk about Dave Ramsey. We're gonna tell the people about Dave Ramsey in the future, right?
Yeah.
I done seen examples of people paying off $200,000 of debt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Small efforts over a consistent or a long period of time. It's like we grinded hard for 2 years and we paid off $100,000 in debt, and now our fate has changed.
And you know, this talking about grinding is one of the things that E.T. said about grinding. He said that you cannot grind everything every day and nothing comes out of that.
You can't.
That was one of the biggest things that kept me, you know, that foresight. Like, okay, there's something gonna be in there. There's no way I'm putting in all this work and nothing changes. There's no way I'm gonna still stay in the same predicament. There's no way.
Oh my God, bro.
I believed it. When he said them words, I was like, okay, I know I'm grinding those 4-hour study days, those 6-hour study days. Even on the weekends, I'm studying 10-hour days. I don't care. People looking at me, you know the story.
I know the story.
I'm like, yo, you need to go to bed. Girl think I'm cheating on her.
Yeah, not this one.
Not this one.
Not
this one.
Yeah, that's the story. That's the story. Don't worry about it.
That's the story though, man. Right. Man, there's just no way. If you're going through it right now, if you in the middle of grinding, there's no way you putting in that work and nothing comes out.
Boy,
look where we at right now.
Bro, I mean, damn.
You started Uplift. There ain't no way. Write it down.
You can't wait your whole life to make a change.
Believe in yourself.
Innovate with integrity and intentionality.